They would be up in one of the high roof sections, Peter, where they have successfully put out the fires only to have them reignite again and again in the strange roof section, which is a slate-covered wood roof in this old building, the Pentagon, and they have had an extremely difficult time putting out all those fires.
Okay, John, thanks very much. John McCarthy at the State Department. I want to talk now briefly to
New York City area. Police also tell Fox News that they are looking back to an event of Tuesday morning, 9 a.m., just minutes after the first two planes crashed into the World Trade Center, where a man three men traveling together on a United Airlines flight bound for California were sitting on the plane, and they decided to cancel this flight. It was 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. The three men in an altercation, or at least a shouting match, with some of the crew members on board. One of them forcing them to call security. A brief altercation, then they quickly disappeared. The FBI now looking for these three men and wondering only, if maybe this could have been yet another attempt at a hijack on a fifth plane. Today, the search continues downtown. Two firefighters recovered from the rubble this day. It was first believed that they might have been trapped from the beginning of this siege since Tuesday morning when the buildings collapsed. In fact, we've since learned that the two firefighters had fallen in this day, were trapped in a void there in a pocket of air, were rescued by some of their colleagues. They'll be working 24 hours a day as the smoke continues to rise over Manhattan. Mayor Giuliani says that 184 victims have been pulled from the rubble. 35 of those have been positively ID'd. The rest, the vast majority, will require DNA tests to make a positive confirmation. Of course, Mayor Giuliani goes on to explain that this is a building which fell on top of itself like pancakes. Rescue workers say many of those inside the wreckage were incinerated with the heat of that fireball between the 80th and 90th floors, and that the weeks ahead will be quite long and quite difficult. Updates throughout the night on Fox News, on this Fox station. Right now, let's go back to...
So we're just trying to get to anyone, and most importantly, anyone who is on the floors in the North Tower of 100 and above that made it out safely.
Sean has an organized platoon of many friends to meet him here and start the search.
And Melissa has so many friends. People have stayed up for the last 2 nights. No sleep.
And Sean says he will keep looking, hoping to hear his wife's voice again.
I'm not going to stop till I get my wife, till I find her.
It is now 10:08 Eastern Time. We want to give you a rundown on the latest developments tonight. The FBI says it has now positively identified all 18 suspected hijackers on the 4 planes involved in the attacks. There was some report from the FBI earlier that we may have some photos, but that's not going to happen for a time. Several people were being held and for questioning at New York City's airports tonight. Police say that a man carrying a false pilot's identification was detained after trying to get past security. All 3 area airports in New York City have been closed, adding once again to the chaos in America's skies. Vice President Cheney has been relocated to Camp David in Maryland, strictly officials say as a precaution. They want to separate the president and the vice president so there is not a common target if there's to be another terrorist attack. The numbers in New York City remain staggering. More than 4,700 people still missing in the World Trade Center attack. But to bring us up to date now on what's going on at New York City airports, we're going to go to NBC.